So the NBA season is over, and in today's video, I am going to be reviewing it. I thought it would be fun to review it, what happened throughout the season. It was a pretty interesting season. So basically how this is going to work is I have 3 parts. You're watching part 1. In today's part, we're going to be talking about the off-season moves, the rookies, and the awards. And if you stick to part 2, you'll see the best performances, the most surprising and disappointing players, the trade deadline moves, and the end of season standings. And if you still stick to part 3, stay to part 3, you will see the playoffs. So this is part 1. I already told you what we're going to be talking about. So we're just going to get started right into this. This was a really good season, and it all started with the off-season prior. So I'm just going to do all the notable ones I could think of off the top of my head. So we're going to get right into it. First one, probably the best one, was Chris Paul to the Suns. The Suns traded Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio to the Thunder, and then the Thunder ended up flipping them, and yeah. But Chris Paul effect played in on the Suns, and the Suns made the finals. The Wizards got Russell Westbrook. Now this was a really good one. It happened right before the season started, sending Westbrook to the Wizards in return for John Wall and the 2023 first round pick. The Wizards almost made the playoffs with Russell Westbrook, something they couldn't do with Bradley Beal alone. They got to start to pair up with him. Westbrook played not his best year, but one of his best years, averaging 22, 11, and 11. And they made the playoffs as the 8th seed. He also broke the triple-double record here in Washington. Well, not here in Washington, but in Washington, because I'm not from Washington. But he just seems really happy in Washington. And yeah. Hornets signed Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was very likely to accept his player option, which was something worth a lot of money. Nobody thought he could get that in free agency because he just wasn't worth that. But he declined it and signed with Charlotte for $120 million over 4 years. Yeah, Michael Jordan, that's a bit of an overpay. That's $30 million a year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, $30 million a year for Gordon Hayward. But nonetheless, he still played great for Charlotte. And, yeah, moving on. Lakers signed Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. They also signed, like, Gasol and Wesley Matthews and something like guys like that. But these were the main big two signings. Montrezl Harrell, they got, if they wanted to start him, it's fine. Or they bench him. He just won 6th Man of the Year. And Dennis Schroeder was most likely going to be their starting point guard. And now Dennis Schroeder wants 100 to 120 million this offseason. So it's safe to say the Lakers won't be bringing him back. While Montrezl Harrell, they didn't play him at all in the playoffs, so I don't think he's too happy with the Lakers. But nonetheless, they were still notable offseason signings, so I had to put them in here. The other LA team, the Los Angeles Clippers, signed Serge Ibaka. As a Raptors fan, it kind of hurts when I saw Serge Ibaka left, because, he could have used the rebounding and the blocks and all that stuff. But in the playoffs, he didn't really play much for them. But in the regular season, when he wasn't injured, he was a big contributing piece to the Clippers, being their defensive anchor. Well, not really defensive anchor because they have Kawhi and Paul George. But he was a great defender on the Clippers. And I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future with him, but this was still a great move by the Clippers. The Milwaukee Bucks trade for Drew Holiday. So this actually worked out really well for them because they originally wanted Bogdanovic because Bledsoe played more of shooting guard, I think. So they originally wanted someone to replace Bledsoe. So they wanted Bogdanovic, but the NBA banned it. So they got Drew Holiday instead, and this ended up really working out. Holiday played, for the most part, he played really good in the playoffs, and now they have their first ring. So though this doesn't really stand out too much, this was just the nail in the coffin giving Milwaukee the title. He was probably the X factor. But yeah, great great move for the Bucks. The Hawks signed Danilo Gallinari. Now, there were a lot of moves the Hawks made. I could have put them all in, but they got Chris Dunn, they got Lou Williams, they drafted a Conwell. You get the point. But the main one was a signing trade for Danilo Gallinari. The Thunder signed him, traded him to the Hawks in return for, I don't really know the trade, but Danilo Gallinari was a key piece off the bench for the Hawks, hitting his jump shots and just overall being a great player, a great role player for the Hawks in their amazing playoff run. Not all the offseason moves were good. If you know, you know. Alright, now we're going to talk about the rookies. Now, this is a pretty good draft, and I'm just going to be going over the notable ones. And, yeah. All-rookie first team, we have LaMelo Ball, who won Rookie of the Year. He played great for the Hornets. I think he's undoubtedly was the Rookie of the Year. Like, he wasn't scoring as much as Edwards, but he was just playing better overall. Then you have the runner-up, Anthony Edwards, who was mostly a finisher, and I think a big reason why he didn't win Rookie of the Year was because he played all 72 games, and the Timberwolves sucked, so his impact wasn't too good. Then you have just 3 other great rookies that made the first team. Tyrese Halliburton, who was a steal at the 12th overall pick, played great. Jayshawn Tate, who actually went undrafted, he also played amazing this year but he is on the Rockets, so we'll have to see. And you have Saddiq Bey, he was just a sharpshooter for the Pistons. Pistons got really lucky this year in the draft, and now they have the number 1 overall pick. They got Saddiq Bey, Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, Saban Lee, and now they have the number 1 overall pick. But yeah, that's the first team. Some other notable rookies are James Wiseman. I think he was underperforming, but I still see a lot of potential in him. I'm just not sure if Golden State's the right place. Yes, on paper it's perfect because Steph and Klay get a great center, but I just don't think it works out. I think Wiseman wants to be the star player, being the number 1 option, which centers can be, but on the Warriors, that won't work. But he also got injured, so it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back, but I see a lot of potential in him. Cole Anthony from the Orlando Magic. He was out a lot with his rib injury, but when he was playing, he hit 2 game winners, I think, and just overall played great. Now, I actually thought that he would be a lottery pick. He just fell out at number 15. Steal for the Magic for sure. They get a great young point guard to either be off the bench or starting with Markelle Fultz. But yeah, great steal for the Magic. Isaiah Stewart of the Pistons. Isaiah Stewart is an above-average shooting center that's also pretty athletic. He played good for the Pistons. And, yep, that's all I have to say. And some other notable ones, we have Emmanuel Quickley, who was on fire with the Knicks. I really think that he's going to have a great career on New York. I mean, the Knicks they really needed a starting shooting guard, and they got one. He can even run some point guard, which the Knicks also need. And Emmanuel Quickley is just like a shifty guy, ball dominant. He also likes to pass a little bit, but he's a great shooter. And Emmanuel Quickley's a guy that I really like. I like his game. And we have rookie Malachi Flynn on the Raptors. The only reason why I put him, the stats didn't really stand out, but he was a 29th pick, and 29th picks aren't really supposed to be this good. But he played great. He actually won a Rookie of the Month, and even though all the Raptors were injured. And yeah, so those are the notable rookies. There are also some other ones like Teo Maledon. There's RJ Hampton, Tyrese Maxey, Precious Achiuwa, Peyton Pritchard, Nico Mannion. There's a lot of great rookies that I could have put, but I think this is good. And now we move on to the awards. So MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Coach of the Year. I don't care about sportsmanship player. No, that doesn't matter. So MVP, Nikola Jokic. I made a video about Nikola Jokic. I'm not sure how to do the top right thing and click that, but maybe I'll put a link in the description if I remember. Yeah, he won MVP, played amazing. He was my pick for the MVP. And yeah, he did almost a triple-double for a center's crazy. Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball, I originally had Edwards, but now that I look at the stats more, LaMelo Ball, he just shot better. Other than points, he had more rebounds, more assists, shot better, less turnovers. True, he played less games, and the Hornets were better. But I think this is good for LaMelo. The only thing that I would argue is that the games, but overall, LaMelo is the best rookie in the draft class. Jordan Clarkson won the 6th Man of the Year award. I predicted this. It was kind of obvious. I mean, there was really nobody else. Oh, I also put the award predictions in the description. There was really nobody else that could have won it. Like Boucher, Montrezl Harrell. Those guys all could have won it, but obviously Jordan Clarkson was the best 6th Man in the year. Defensive Player of the Year, we have Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert, in my award predictions, I predicted Miles Turner. But if you listen to my site, I said Miles Turner deserves to win. But it's going to be Rudy Gobert. And I still think that Miles Turner is a better defender, especially how Gobert played in the playoffs. But Gobert won it. That's fine. He's still a great defender, an elite one. And, yep, so that's Defensive Player of the Year. 2 more awards. We have Most Improved, Julius Randle. And Julius Randle, he was going from getting chance that the crowd was like, oh, you suck, like we're going to trade you, whatever, to getting MVP chance. He played great. And I think the main thing that made Randle play better was the passing. Like, instead of trying to like do a spin move or take a stupid shot while he was shooting, when he was double teamed, he would pass to the open man, and I think that's what made him so good. He was less selfish with the ball, and yeah. Alright, finally, Coach of the Year, we have Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau, like, if you're the 4th seed in your conference, you shouldn't win Coach of the Year, but I think what really made him win was the fact that the Knicks were okay with Fizdale, and they fired him, brought in Coach Thibodeau, and boom, 4th seed right away. So yeah, those are the awards. That is part 1. That's going to wrap my video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2, and we'll see you in the next video.